Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you today, and I have an overwhelming hunger deck for you guys, for any of you that want to be playing monsters for this, faction challenge. And it's a pretty cool deck, I think. It has a lot of raw points, and quite often with monsters what you're going to find is you don't have very many ways to interact with the opponent compared to other factions. You might have a few, like an Adder Striga, or maybe some kind of Geralt, Igni, Jurden, that kind of thing, or a Drowner here or there, and a bit of bleeding, but really apart from that there's not too much. So you're more focused on your own points with things like lava in your bronzes, potentially Deathwish units, which I'm running here with the eggs, the warriors, and the Barghest to activate them as well. And yeah, you're more interested in snowballing your board and making it very, very big. So the concept here is to get a lot of Ruin value, and you can do that potentially by Caranthir onto him, use him in multiple rounds, or you can just use him in the one round, save him as a kind of finisher, have him being eaten and, resummoned over and over again with Haunt, with your, consuming units, with Karen, etc. So there's some really powerful long round potential with this deck. Assuming you don't need to interrupt the opponent. If you do, then you might struggle because I'm not running a Jurden or an Igni or anything, but you could try to fit that in yourself, maybe instead of Haunt, if you feel like it's needed. But the Haunt does give a huge amount of power if you are not getting bomb heavered in this deck, so that's kind of the reason it's there. Also had ideas of running Penitent and, Pugo for the Penitent pool, but figured there wasn't quite enough room in terms of provisions. So yeah, pretty solid deck. You have a very strong long round with this Ruin combination, and a very decent short round with the typical Egon, Osrel, Goliath combinations, which are very common in monsters. So pretty strong way to play monsters, I think, at the moment. Monsters, not the strongest faction, but definitely not completely out of it. I think there's some things you could play with some degree of success. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, by the way, guys, because apparently a lot of people are not subscribed who are watching, so if that's one of you, then be sure to do that. And let's jump into the games. Okay, we're going to be up against Blaze of Glory. Some Skellige friends. Trying to complete their challenges, by the looks of things. Alright, I'm liking the hand so far. We have a lot of lava. A lot of lava, really good for the round one. And pushing, which will help us, I think. So we're probably going to keep all. I think we can just play them out and crush the round one. Maybe do a big push in round two. We'll see. We'll see. We have Osrel, which can be really nice against Yutta or whatever they're putting in graveyard. And I do like kind of these bronzes. They're going to help us push very much. I kind of just want to keep this whole hand. I guess we can get rid of Plumard and see if there's anything better there. But realistically, that was pretty nice stuff. So let's go with lava. We'll click the lamp to play around Delirium, which they're sometimes going to have. And the bleeding begins. We do have a movement for that. So I guess this means we might end up not playing double lava, because if we do, it'll be quite late in the round, because we're going to lose a lava to bleeding otherwise. So maybe we'll just try to take it with a big Egon, although playing him now will mean he dies to a crushing, stunning blow, not crushing blow. So maybe we have to wait on him actually. Play stuff like the Beast for now. He'll probably die to a decoction anyway. I'm going to play it. Got to be careful because this is going to make Thrive harder to proc potentially. I'm not exactly sure if it works like that, if the damage is dealt first or the Thrive happens first, because I've seen it work both ways. I think it might be actually quite inconsistent. Often the coding is like a bit dodgy in Gwent, right? Sometimes the cards don't work exactly in the same way as, on other occasions. So we could play another lava. I mean, how good are they going to be though in this round at this point? That's really the question. Probably not that good, so I think I'll just kind of play it a little bit slowly. I mean, we could do a test here. We'll see if it actually activates. Okay, so Thrive does activate first. I wonder if they changed that, because I've definitely had situations in the past where the damage has prevented the Thrive from happening. Maybe it depends where you place it on the board. If you place it over here, it maybe happens later, not sure. So we'll just play the egg to get the thrive. It's like a 6-point play, kind of. With the possibility of eating it with Karen maybe, or Haunt. At some point, although not super likely. Let's go with Matter now, I think. We'll just get that Ruin
Music marries cultures, connects
for later. Not really expecting to win the round, although... you know, there's a possibility of doing that. Maybe with Haunt, but don't really have a good way to activate it at this point. I think at this stage we're just likely to probably get the E-gun down and then say to the opponent that they need to maybe commit quite a lot here to actually win. And with Blaze of Glory you're not worried about that reusing of Wild Boar of the Sea or something like that, so don't mind so much if he actually does win the round. But okay, looks like we do get it. That's quite nice for us. And I think I will push here. We don't have very many ways to deal with the opponent's board. The Drowner was one of the few ways we do. So by pushing, we're able to kind of control the amount of value his long round cards will get. We aren't able to do that in the same way if we just go to round 3. Alright, so pretty okay hand. It might actually be quite difficult to activate the Haunt fully. We're going to need to probably play Royal Decree onto Goliath or something like that, if we want to do it this round. But I think one thing is for sure, and that is that I'm playing Lava in this round as a kind of pushing tool, and quite possibly a Coranth here. We'll see how we want to do it, but yeah. You can kind of run into a difficulty with the Haunt. Sometimes you don't have enough Death Wish. You could consider running an extra Noon Wraith, honestly, instead of something else, just for another Death Wish guy. Or you can cut Haunt entirely if you're running into Bomb Heavers as well, then that's definitely going to be an option for you. Alright, that's pretty annoying to deal with, honestly. Just means we get our Haunt down quite a bit later than I'd like. But, you know, maybe we don't even play Haunt this round, honestly. We can save that as a finisher, I suppose. So I think what we do here is we just go for the Coranth on Ruin, and we do some kind of neat little play with the Ruins in this round 2. We probably go with another Ruin next, and then Endrigger Warrior to eat them both, and then Karen to eat twice again. That should be feeling quite good, I think. Quite a lot of points. Yeah, definitely not going to be too shabby. And then we can just kind of go into a round 3 with our Haunt, with our Detlaf, with our Osrel, and that should be enough to take it, I would imagine. With Leader as well, if we need it. We can also use Leader charges this round if we'd rather. So we can kind of calculate how much we should get in terms of consumes. We don't have Coranth here, so at this point it's looking like we should basically play maybe 1 or 2, maybe all of our Leader charges here actually. Because the Haunt should activate the Detlaf for us with the Barghests. Haunt is spawning basically 3 consumes, so it can eat a whole Detlaf and the Night Wraith that it spawns, in theory. Doesn't always work out that way, but... Ruin's very strong because a lot of people don't really have locks in their deck at all, or ways to deal with him. So it can be really, really powerful. Here it's going to be a lot of points for us. I'll go with that Warrior. And then Karen. And then maybe, honestly, Royal Decree, although I'm kind of excited to keep that, hold on to that. I suppose we could even play the Haunt. We could kind of go all in here, if we choose to do that. I'm just kind of waiting a bit because I want to keep my Lava alive to maximize points. But there's definitely a possibility for us to just go all in. Like, surprise him with the sheer value. Haunt, Detlaf, Goliath last plays. I think that amount of value will be really game-breaking with the hunger on the Ruins as well. Getting so many points per turn. I think it's quite difficult to grasp quite how many points that is, right? Like,
I'll snap your neck
it's not maybe immediately obvious, but yeah. Karen time definitely here. Eat twice. So many points. And I think, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm liking this Haunt idea. It also gives us more value because of the Lava, right? We won't have those for round 3, so... Unless there's some big play here that he can use, and that we're scared of, you know, maybe a wild boar or something. The thing is, wild boar doesn't really hurt because we have so many boosted units, and we can eat damaged ones with leader, with Karen. It's not like he can damage Ruin, but then we just eat him, and he can damage Karen, but it's so boosted up that it won't actually receive damage. So in theory, we just are kind of smashing here. He might have big removal for the Karen, right? So his leader will get a lot of value, so we've got to be a bit careful of that. But we can maybe Osrel whatever he chooses to put in the graveyard. But yeah, we've got to be a little bit cautious. I think I'm going to go all in though. Just kind of makes sense to do that, I think, in this situation. Unfortunately, we're going to lose the lava, but that's just life, isn't it? That is just the way it goes. We're going to get so many points, I think we'll just be kind of outpowering him here. I tried my hardest to keep lava alive, but the bleeding kept coming and eventually got him, so what can you do? What can you do? So we've got quite a few more consumes coming up. I guess we can use the Barghest as well that will come. This is going to be pretty perfect. If we're able to draw into Osrel, I don't really see a way we lose. Oh, he's got Yutta in hand as well. That's, I mean, on some level that's good for him because it's a 12-point play, but on some other level it's not so good. The only reason this is close is because he also had so many engines himself, so many long-term cards, long-round cards. I think we'll still have more value overall, but you know, his leader here is definitely strong. So we can kind of avoid using our leader just yet, potentially. Yeah, we'll play the Detlef. We could also save the Detlef because it's very good with leader. So maybe let's play Goliath first, because we can just eat the Ruins, right? We don't need to eat the Detlef at the moment. So I think this is correct, and then it gives us the option of using leader or saving it, depending on how many points we can put out and how much we think we need. Maybe. Whether we can win here simply, or whether we should go to round 3 with a leader advantage and this big play. You know, Detlef plus leader is a lot of points. And we could draw into Osrel as well. I think it might just be safer to win here, to be honest, because we'll get more value from Haunt by playing another card. We can eat all of our guys. Almost all. We won't get one Ruin proc, but we've managed to activate 2 Ruins per turn. For every turn of this round, pretty much. Which is kind of insane. 8 points per turn, effectively. You know, it's no wonder we're ahead of this 4-point per turn or 3-point per turn engine that's been coming out. So I think we do just go all in, most likely here. I can't imagine there'll be many cards that we can have which actually catch up with us. I mean, we could do some maths in terms of possibly, you know, Wild Boar of the Sea, Morkvarg being his last 2 cards, but at the end of the day, I think it's probably just best to go in here. I don't know, we probably win either way. And maybe it's even safer to keep the Detlef around 3. Because it is a lot of points, right? Detlef and leader is a combined total of, what, 19? 19 is a lot to have in one card. So I'm kind of torn, I know the correct play is probably passing here. I could also do maths, but maths is kind of tricky at this point. I think the correct play is to pass.
I'll take that.
He'll take that. Just because, you know, like, I'm pretty sure there's a chance that Morkvarg and Wild Boar would make it here. I also don't even have my Barghest activated. So I think it's just a bit safer to pass here. While it would feel really good to kind of go all the way in, and it might be a win, it might very well be a win, it probably would be. I think this approach is a little bit safer, because now we just have an inherent advantage over him. Whereas before we would be playing into him and we'd be a card down at the end of the day. Now we do have a lot of bronzes, which is kind of not the best thing. We just really want to find that Osrel, I think. We can probably mulligan away our Barghest, because it's not too useful, and our eggs. Okay, so we don't really have a very powerful hand. We did miss Osrel. And there are definitely still cards that he can have which are worth points, you know, maybe a 12 resurrection kind of thing. But I think this big leader play should be enough to win the game realistically. We've got, you know, Bruxes as well, which aren't, you know, they're not terrible, they're like 7s or something, right? We can play those out. Probably on different rows to play around Delirium. It's a good thing the Crow Mother came out at the end of the game rather than at the beginning. This might actually end up being quite close. Maybe with hindsight the correct play was to go all in. Kind of an interesting one, right? But I think we'll be okay here. His Morkvarg or whatever doesn't really get any value either. If he has that, or any kind of Igni. Yeah, I think this was just the safer line of play. We could have gone all in, but then there were probably some cards that were punishing that and beating us. I think this way we're just safest. Alright. What is the last card of the opponent? I think it's probably some kind of tool punish. Igni, Jörden, Morkvarg would be my guess. Oh, Hjalmar. Yeah, that's also not too surprising. So it does end up being pretty close, but, you know, we didn't draw our big finisher card here, so it's kind of why, right? But I think that was always going to be a win, right? His hand was pretty perfect, and we still managed to take it, so... Not too shabby. Alright. But yeah, that was an interesting one. Maybe going all in was just a better line even. We probably were winning either way. But yeah, definitely when the haunt doesn't get answered, you get a lot of points. Let's jump into another one then and see if we can win again. Alright, and now some Scoia'tael action. Bit of Mystic Echo. Should be an interesting one. We don't have any way to interrupt their waters, but we can put out a lot of points ourselves, especially in those long rounds. So if we can maybe bait him into a long round, I think we should actually be favoured there. Quite possibly. Where it's going to get scary is if the bleed happens, which, you know, can sometimes occur against the Scoia'tael guys, right? But okay, what do we want to get rid of? Probably one Bruxo. I guess we don't need two of them. We can get rid of one warrior as well, we don't need so many of those. A lot of bronzes, which is pretty good for us, I think. We can push the round. The Hawkers are going to be very annoying to deal with, because we don't have the Drowner in hand. If there are two of those, then we're just going to have to rely on bleeding to eventually kill them.
Life is fleeting.
Oh wow, okay, we're going to get waters from him immediately. That's a big commitment. I think this allows us to hold on to Lava, because we're probably not going to be able to push and win against the fledglings. Playing Lava would give us a bit more, like, you know, staying power in this round, but I think it's probably better to play Bruxa, play a bit slowly, and just, you know, get rid of some bad cards here. Maybe play down to Eggs, Warrior, Plumades, and then defend his kind of second push in round 2. His second push will be a lot weaker because he's used the Waters. Waters is a really key card for Mystic Echo. If they use them early, then they don't have the same kind of pushing potential that they do later. So, you know, we're kind of already in a pretty good position, I would say. We'll just play Plumades now because they're kind of less valuable than these Death Wish units, I think. Obviously, Warrior onto Ruahin is maybe worth 12 points, or, you know, 8 later on, which isn't bad at all. When you look at it like that. And of course, we'll keep playing front row because of these bowmen, which can be annoying if you don't. Alright, we're quite far behind in points, but I'm pretty happy with how this is going so far. We haven't run into any Hawker supports, and we've already got one Waters from them, so that's pretty good news. If we can just kind of maybe play a couple more cards, get rid of some of these weaker bronzes, then should be in a really good position in this game, I think. Maybe even play Goliath so that Osro can work in round 2. Wow, really big plays coming in here. I do think the Goliath play is probably correct now. Just to make sure we don't have a brick, because if we do in round 3, then there's going to be problems. Then there will be problems for sure. We could even maybe think about eating our Goliath or something cheeky like that, but it might be the case that he actually poisons it. Yeah, okay. If we can get him to poison this here, this is like insanely good for us. So maybe I should go with another kind of high tempo-ish play like a beast. just to threaten the push. Because if we go with an eggs, it's quite low tempo. He could actually pass on us if he wanted. So I think the safest play here is the beast. If we get the poison onto the Goliath here, that's really good for us because it will pull out a really decent unit from him. And then he'll have very little left to actually push us with. So I think the beast is a good play here. Going to allow us to actually take the round in one if he passes. And this might force his hand, force the second poison. It'd be easy to just play eggs, but I think then you're opening yourself up to losing, really. And there it is. Okay, so this might pull out Oak or a Triumphor. Okay, that's not the best, but we can now say what his hand is with reasonable accuracy. Probably Oak and Barnabas in the hand. Maybe some other cards as well. We can pass now. Obviously, if we'd played eggs instead of beast, it would have been kind of better for us in terms of a better trade, but this is still pretty good for us, I think. We've really managed to get a lot from them, and they're probably going to push us in round 2, which isn't going to be even very good for them, as long as we have somewhat of a decent hand. Which right now it looks like we do. I think I'll get rid of Warrior, and then maybe eggs. I'm kind of thinking about Haunt and how we're going to activate that, but yeah, we should probably get rid of Bruxa in that case. So we can just pull a Ruahin, we can also just pull the, you know, we've got just stuff we can do this round really. We can go for the Haunt if we want, but I think that might be a bit too slow if he's pushing in hard with Waters. We'll see, we'll see. And we might need a big chunk of points, or alternatively we'll just get the pass. So I think we're going to play eggs, because most likely we'll draw another Deathwish unit, a Ruahin ideally. So we won't need that Haunt trigger, and all of these Barghest will be very good on a Ruahin instead of on eggs. So, kind of a perfect situation. We're only against one Waters in round 3. And in theory, I was saying, you know, our long round is probably actually similar in strength, if not better than, you know, our opponents here. Okay, so let's get rid of Bruxa. I mean, as good of a card as it is, I think it might be vulnerable to removal a little bit. Probably ends up dying here. We'll get rid of Warrior, I suppose, as well. Yeah. So this hand looks pretty good. We can go for Matter into Haunt, should we want to do that. We'll definitely start with Lava here. No reason not to. Get that Thrive value going, and then probably going to be another Caranthia onto Ruahin, because that combo is just really, really powerful in long rounds, as we saw last game. In this round it should be kind of fatal, I think.
Life is fleeting.
And we know they have their power cards on hand, their Barnabas, their Oak, but that's kind of always going to be the case in round 3 against Echo. So how best to sequence here? That's kind of the big question. We do definitely need to play the, you know, the Haunt here with the Matter, right? So I think we should go for that ASAP, because we also want to eat 2 Ruahins with the Warrior, which means, yeah, we want a Caranthia, but we want to get Haunt down. Yeah, we can Caranthia first, I suppose. That's fine. To thrive up our boys a little bit. But really we want to get the Haunt out as soon as we can, so that we can trigger it with Ruahin, and then our points will just roll in, really. We'll just get so many of them. It feels a bit awkward, right, the sequencing here, because we want to be eating, but at the same time we want to be, you know, getting our Haunt. But that's okay, I think we just have an abundance of points once the Haunt comes down. And, you know, in an ideal world we just wouldn't have to even play the Matter, but it's not like we're lacking points with this play either. It's triggering Thrive, and the Haunt will trigger Thrive, and it's all just going to go crazy. Be a lot of points. So that's looking really good. Got to be a little bit careful with placement in terms of not wanting to play too much into Yrden and things like that, but we'll go with the Haunt now and then play the Ruahin after, I believe. Or maybe even Detlaf, actually. We need to kind of make sure that we have them both on the same row for the Warrior. That's kind of an ideal if we can get that. So it might be better to play Detlaf first. I guess we'll lose out on a bit of value that way, but It should be fine. I think we have so many plays here that it should be fine. I guess we can ruin first. Nah. Maybe let's Detlef. We can ruin him. It's fine. We might lose this warrior play. We can also just play Detlef. Yeah, we can also just play Detlef, right? So I think this is fine. And we can play Detlef next to the Ruin, basically. We need to try to find dominance, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem with the K-Rune. It's going to be worth a lot. And points start rolling in. Now getting that 8 per turn train coming.
Special price, just for you, love.
Alright, so what's up next? It could just be the Detlef, and then we're going to eat with Warrior, or it could be a K-Rune. I think a K-Rune is also pretty good. We want to get the dominance up as soon as we can. So maybe let's do that. I'm going to try to play around Yerden and stuff. Yerden's a bit spooky, but it probably shouldn't be in his deck, given that he is a Mystic Echo deck. So we really got to hope we get the dominance down. It might have even been better to kind of play the Barghest out first, but I wanted to maximize the Thrive here, which is why I went K-Rune first. Definitely the only thing we're really scared of now is another set of poisons. Poisons would be a bit frustrating, but I don't think it's even that scary, honestly. Let's just eat with the Barghest while we have that ability available. Points are flowing in, and yeah, we should be in a pretty good spot here, I think. I'm not sure we're going to get absolutely the full value. In fact, we might. I'm even a bit worried about row stacking here too much, because I've got quite a lot of units coming from my leader, quite a lot from the last trigger of Haunt. So it might be the case that we play Detlef at the very end here to minimize our board space that's taken up by the rats and things like that. Might be the way that we do it. Or he'll maybe kill my units, which is also pretty nice for us. Alright, I'm a bit scared of the possibility of you know, some kind of Igni, but it's not super likely an Echo because it doesn't trigger all the Harmony. Probably not going to run into that, but I'm still a bit spooked by it. But I think the points are going to be just a bit too much to deal with. Bear in mind, we still haven't used our leader. We still haven't used one of our Haunt chapters. And we are against Mystic Echo. Now, probably against 2 waters, it would be difficult. I'm not going to lie. That would probably be difficult, actually, in reality. Because that is one of the stronger, you know, long rounds that exists, for sure. Alright, so we have 2 consumes, which eats the Detlef. We have another unit, and then we want to consume, we can consume 2 here as well. Maybe let's just Detlef now. I think we have enough board space. Actually, we should maybe wait one more turn on that. Play Osrael now, I think. Yeah, Osrael now. Goliath. Oh man, so many points, so many points. With the lava flowing in, oh, it's just great. It's just great. The great thing is, like, we played mostly bronzes this round, really, like a lot of Barghests and stuff. But once you've got Ruin on the board, he turns all your bronzes into power plays, really. It's quite epic. The double Ruin, oh man. Quite proud of this one. Quite proud. I like that in this game. You can just kind of build something, and it very well might work. Just, you know, just might work. Maybe it also won't, but so I'm a bit worried about row stacking here. I really am, because I don't have that many spaces. I'm basically taking up 3 here. I'm taking up 3 here, right? So I'm actually going to row stack if I play my Detlef first. So I think we need to finish with the Detlef and just play a warrior here. We can play a warrior and eat a big unit, I suppose. It's kind of awkward. I guess I'll eat this. It's probably fine, isn't it? Plays into Yerden a bit, but if he has Yerden, he has Yerden. I can't really play around that. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Is it greedy? This is probably the correct play, I think. I might end up losing a few points, but I don't know, I think this is the right way. I probably ended up losing like 4 points or something here, but... should be enough, right? Should be more than enough. Alright, that was pretty sweet. Beating the Mystic Echo in a long round, not too shabby. Pretty powerful deck actually, like definitely a lot of points. Obviously you don't have ways to interrupt the opponent, so that's where your downfall will come, but that's often the case with monsters, isn't it? But yeah, thanks a lot for watching guys. If you would like to have some coaching in Gwent, or even other card games which I have played, maybe Runeterra or something, then do hit me up. My Discord is in the description. I can help you out in some one-on-one sessions. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, etc. That would really be helpful. Anyhow, thanks for watching again guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.